So where is it? I don't
Let's
see
see.
it.
It should be coming out soon. Live. Are we live? Let me see. I think
It
we.
looks like we're live, but I don't see it on your page.
It might be. It might still be hooking up. Let's see. It is live. We are live. Welcome, Batista. Today is day 4 of my 12 days of my Christmas gift giveaway, and literally, I'm interviewing one or two expert a day between now and January 6th, so that I can get all these help in order for us to finish 2020 strong and make our 2021 the best year ever. And you know what? We need this kind of support right now because there's so many things that are dampening our Christmas spirit, our New Year spirit, because COVID has hit a lot of us in many ways, health wise, emotionally, physically, and even mentally. And so I'm so happy to have you today, Batista, for helping me. Uh, we're gonna, what do you call that, bust some myths around our health, and I would love to get some of your tips because you have so much amazing content to share. But first of all, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, first of all, thank you for having me here today and giving me the opportunity to share some of my knowledge and everything. So I want to thank you. It's an honor to be here. And my story. Yes, so originally from Switzerland, if you were wondering what my accent is, so we can get that out of the way. So I'm originally from Switzerland, and I fell in love with dancing very early on. My mother was a dancer, my father was a mime. So I became my whole life and my everything I ever wanted was to be a ballerina, and that's what I did. Very early on, I started dancing, and I. The thing is, I had many injuries over the period of my life. So as a young teenager, I broke my foot, which ended my ballet career, and then I became a flamenco dancer, and I pursued my career for over 4 decades. In my mid 20s, I had 9 car accidents. Actually, it was a period of my life where I had a lot of things happening to me. Sometimes the universe knock at your door, saying, hey, you need to make a change in your lifestyle. I guess that might be what happened. But what happened is I ended up with a lot of injuries. And by the time I reached my 40s, I had so many injuries, and I had danced my whole life over all my injuries, and I was always seeking treatment and trying new things, and whatever the conventional ways of healing injuries, such as uh, physiotherapy, chiropractic, acupuncture, and then I went into metaphysical science, hands-on healing, positive thinking. Basically, you name it, I've done it over the course of my life. And the thing is, nothing was getting better. I was just getting worse and worse. And when I was always very much into meditation and spirituality, and one day I had a moment of clarity. I was in a meditation class, and the topic was on body, mind, spirit integration. And I was hearing the conversation that I had heard over many years, in those circuits, is about grounding the body and, integrating the body, the mind, the spirit. And I woke up, it's almost like waking up from a dream. And I realized that really I had a piece of the puzzle was missing, because I was very in my mind spiritually. I understood things and I had some abilities, and I had been fit my whole life, but my body was falling apart.
Mm.
And I realized that, so what is this grounding the body, mind, spirit integration, when my body is in so much pain, and so it's a joke, right?
Right.
And then I looked around of all the people in the room, and I saw a lot of suffering, physically, emotionally, mentally. and I said, you know, something is missing. People are not living in their body. The body is left behind, even though we always talk about it, and we want it, and we aspire of having that peace in our body, but we don't have it. And so in those days I was hosting meditation groups, and I gather everybody and I said, okay, let's make an intention, let's pray, and we lit candles and we made mock-up boards and the whole, yeah, you know, the whole thing. And the intention as a group was to find the piece of the puzzle missing between body, mind, and spirit, and to find a way to heal my injuries personally. I wanted to find a way to heal my injuries, but then I wanted to also have some answers for the bigger picture. And the next day, back then it was 11 years ago, everything in my life was about dancing. Okay, so I had an appointment at a restaurant where I was going to put a show together. I had a dance company. And I was waiting for the owner of the restaurant to discuss the terms of our agreement. And there comes this gentleman that's there waiting to have lunch. And, you know, he was kind of handsome. I thought, you know, and I was single. And so we made eye contact, and he gets up and he walks by my table, and then he looks at me and he goes, well, who are you? You know, he's kind of buff, and, you know, and I said, well, I'm Batista. And I said, well, who are you? And he says, well, I'm an international body designer. And I had never heard that term. I didn't know, but it sounded good. And I was just praying for my body, right? So body designer, I said, oh, that's what I need. And so he started talking to me about his system that had to do with strength training. And an hour later, I was in his office, and the conversation was very different than anything I had ever heard. Because as a dancer, I was always very active, very fit. I was healthy, you know, but my world was about no pain, no gain. The show must go on. You know, I was like a go-getter. I was like, you know, and what he was telling me was completely different. It was about never doing anything that's uncomfortable, about working out from a female perspective. But then it had to do with strength training, and I didn't understand how strength training, lifting weight, and never doing anything that's uncomfortable, how that all fit together. I didn't quite get it. But I was desperate. I prayed for it, and I figured even if it doesn't show up the way I imagined, then, you know, when you pray for something and something comes, you better say yes, right? So I hired him. And I got on his program, and within a couple of weeks, my injuries literally were gone. My backache of 40 years disappeared like so fast. And so to make a long story short, I married him.
That's a good decision, Batista.
Yeah, it seemed logical. Anyway, I shortened the story a little bit. There was a few more steps between getting in the gym and the wedding. But in any case, I have been fascinating and learning this process for the last 11 years. And in the process, I've written a couple of books, and I love teaching women and men, you know, how to recover their health. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey. And 11 years later, now I'm 61. I am feeling younger than ever. I'm stronger than ever.
Okay, wait. Let's back up a little bit. You are 61 and you beat my ass in everything. Basically, you are super fit and super healthy. And you know what? Your energy level is amazing too. So can you please share with me or with our audience here, what is your secret routine? Like tell us how you wake up, how you go to sleep.
Well, my secret routine, if I told you, you know, I can tell you, but I'd have to kill you, right?
I love you already.
Okay, so let me just back up a little bit, because it's not a secret, it's a formula. Okay, and there's many misconceptions in fitness, and that's why people actually spin their wheels when they try to be in shape or they have injuries, because they lack education. All right, so first of all, there is a difference between different fitness modalities. I'll give you an analogy. If you meet a lawyer or a doctor, you will ask, well, what specialty do you have, right? Are you a criminal lawyer? Are you whatever, injury or whatever? Or a doctor, right. You would say what you specialize in.
Right.
And then if you wanted to hire a lawyer because you have a certain thing that you want to deal with, you will choose the one that can help you according to what you need. In fitness, often it's not like that, okay? People think about fitness as one fit all. Like if I do yoga, or if I walk, or if I do CrossFit or anything, I'm doing something, I'm fit, I'm fine. You know what I mean? So people don't seem to understand that there are different modalities that will really give you different results. Okay. And so that's the first thing, is to become aware of what does what. For example, and I'll break a myth, like just as an example. Many people want to lose weight. Okay. That's one, like even the people that are very thin, they want to lose weight, even if they don't need to. And oftentimes they will go to aerobic activity, the treadmill or walking, running. It's kind of logical. I want to lose weight, then I have to do aerobics. But it's not really the truth, because there's many reasons why. But one that is very simple to understand is that when you do aerobics, that's great. You're going to burn some calories, but you're only going to burn the calories while you do the aerobics. That's it. Okay? While if you did strength training, for example, not only would you burn the calories while you do the activity, the strength training activity, but then you will continue to burn calories for 3 days afterwards while the muscle recuperates itself. So just from that standpoint, you get more for your buck doing strength training than aerobics.
Right.
You understand? Yeah. So there's many, many misconceptions. And besides, if you do aerobics and you're on the treadmill, then you might develop stronger leg muscles. But what happened to your upper body? So oftentimes we see two people on the same frame. You know what I mean? Especially in women, they might have strong legs, but then their upper body is like non-existent,
Yeah.
So that's an example to illustrate what I'm saying about know your stuff, educate yourself in what does what, and then you can make better decisions. Do I make any sense?
Absolutely. So then in that case, for people who want to lose weight, like you said, strength training is a better modality than aerobics exercises. But then when should they have a combination, or is it just focus? Like, tell me about your program, because I know you have an incredible program that has, like, the results are guaranteed, and I would love to hear more about what you teach.
Yeah, so the program that we teach is based on strength training. So we do focus on rebuilding the strength in the body, rebuilding the muscles. But it's more than that, because we work on putting the body back into balance. All right. So all the exercises and the activities are very carefully crafted in a way where they will work on postural realignment of the spine. Okay, so that's the first thing, it's the foundation. So people oftentimes say, oh, you got to build the core. The core is the foundation of the body. But really, in actuality, the spine is the foundation of the body, because it is through the spine that all the energies, the fluids, the blood, the neurochemicals actually flow through the body and reach the brain. So if your spine is out of balance, then what's going to happen is everything is going to start falling out of balance in the body, like a domino effect. Okay, so this is one of the first thing. So oftentimes people are not aware of their posture. So and it's a big, there you go, everybody does that.
The minute you mentioned posture, I just realized, oops, I gotta sit up straight.
Yeah, so the thing about posture, you can't think about it for very long. So
right.
You can, so I think in an average, I read somewhere that you can think about it for about 3 minutes. And then you go back to the original thing, right?
You're so right about that. You're so right about that. Okay, so how do we fix that? How do we make it?
Exactly. So how you fix that is you develop the muscles in the back that is going to hold your posture in the proper position. That's the only way. You see, the muscles is what holds you up. So people don't think about it. And people don't think about it, they don't know about it. So what happens is, now they say, oh, I want to go work out, I want to get in shape. But let's say they're like this. So now they're going to go work out, and everything they do is going to be like this.
Okay.
Yeah. So what they're going to do is they're going to make things worse. They're going to compound on the problem. So what we do is we craft exercises that are going to work towards opening the chest and building those muscles so the body stays lifted. It's an art. And this is an art that Stephen, my husband, Dr. Fitness USA, whom I married 11 years ago, 10 years ago, because I didn't marry him right away. First, I had to finish the program. I was paying him good money, right? I didn't want to mix both things. So it took a little while until I married him. But anyway, it took 55 years to develop the program. And so there's a sequence of exercises that we do that compound on each other to start putting the body back into proper posture.
What I love about your program is that it's actually for people who have pains, because you have the experience of having so many injuries and you were looking for solutions to it. And so now with you designing the program, you actually understand what it feels like to have all those kind of pains, all the kinds of injuries. So can you tell us about some of the injuries that that we can actually, can you give us some tips on how to, so for example, as an entrepreneur who works on the computer a lot, I know that my wrist certainly feels the pain of the typing and the mouse, and also my shoulders and neck. Could you give us some advices around there?
Yes. So great advice. As a matter of fact, I want to tell you that in our 5-day challenge, there's a lot of tips. Every day we give new tips about the exercises that we do. So I would definitely recommend that you join the 5-day challenge. By the way, about that, the 5-day challenge started today, but I talked to so many people that are missing this round because or they didn't know about it, or they couldn't do it because whatever reason. I'm going to do another one starting January 11th. So I will tell you more about it. Yes. So anyway, one thing for the wrists, okay, because I had really bad carpal tunnel 5 years ago. When we put our programs online, I was so many hours on the computer. One morning I woke up and my wrists were so painful, and sometimes when you know the solution and you live with the solution, you don't think about it. And I was in so much pain. And one day I said, you are Dr. Fitness USA's wife. Why don't you ask him how to fix your wrist, And so he started giving me some exercises to do for wrist pain, for carpal tunnel. And within a month, it was entirely gone. And as long as I continue to do those exercises once or twice a week, I am entirely fine. I don't have any pain. So you can do this. And during the challenge, I give you more tips of how to do it. But basically, you have to strengthen your wrists and move them. Understand that a lot of the injuries that we have is because it could be because of an accident or an injury, but it also could be because of overuse, right? Like computer. And the tendency when that happens is because we're afraid, right? Oh, it hurts. And we don't know what to do. And so we're afraid to move it or to work it, or, so we tend to baby it, right? So in the case of carpal tunnel, oftentimes you see people wear braces or things, but understand that you have to do the opposite. You have to strengthen the area, you have to strengthen the muscles around the area, and you have to get the flow to move in the area, and that's how you heal. So in the case of the carpal tunnel, for example, then you need to do something like wrist curls, something like this.
Oh.
Okay. Now, of course, there's different ways of doing it, and in the challenge and in our programs, we teach you how to do it. And if you don't have a dumbbell, you can use other things in the house. So there is methods to it, but that's one method for carpal tunnel.
How heavy is that dumbbell that you're using?
This dumbbell is 3 pounds, but this is another misconception. When we talk about strength training and especially women, men too, but more women, and they use 3 pounds, they think it's strength training. That's not strength training. 3 pounds is occupational therapy. Okay, like if you did, like I'll give you an example. That particular exercise with the wrists,
yeah,
I use, and I'm not saying that you need to use that much, but I've done this a while. So, but just to give you an idea, I use about 65 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, about 65 pounds. You probably could do it with 20 pounds if you knew how. And when you use more weight, then that's when the thing kicks in. You see, when you use light weight, this is a huge misconception in strength training and women. Women have no clue of how much weight they can use or how much weight they should use to get the results that they want.
But you know what? I have a feeling that whenever they do this kind of work, they need to work with a trainer because only the trainer can tell them, okay, that's enough weight or that's too much weight. Because if they're having pain, they should not be doing it, right?
A trainer won't know because a trainer doesn't have the ergonomic applications that we have. So they could potentially get hurt. You see, we do the activities in a way where the body is always ergonomically protected. And we do it in a way where even if you have a pain somewhere, because of the way we teach it to do with the ergonomics, you won't have pain.
Oh.
That's the thing. We bypass the pain. Like if you have pain doing it in a certain angle, we would change the angle or find a way for you to do it so you don't have pain. And then you will start rehabilitating the area because you're moving it, you're strengthening it, but it's not painful. And pretty soon you're going to have more and more range of motion. And before you know it, the injury heals.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a skill, and not everybody can do it. And you know, after I married Stephen and I made my career transition, and then I wanted to know everything about it, so I did a lot of research, and I even became a personal trainer because I wanted to know, even though I had worked with personal trainers in the past, which didn't help me with my injuries, I
Mm.
wanted to know what's the difference. And I can tell you that this is a skill that is not taught in personal training school. Personal training school does not teach about ergonomics. It does not teach about injury or whatever. And if you go to physical therapy, for example, that would be the closest to something that we do, but they don't have the weight ratio, because we have something that we call the proprietary weight ratio system. And with that system, we can dictate how much weight a person can take, but in comparison to the whole body. In other words, if you're going to lift so much with the legs, then you can do so much with the chest. If you do so much with the chest, then you could do so much with the shoulder. And so we put the whole body in balance. You see, oftentimes people just go and they do whatever. Oh, I can do this much, that much, whatever. And even worse, sometimes people love working the body parts that they're better at, right? Oh, I'm good at that. I like that. And then they overbuild this and not enough over there. So there is a skill that really can put everything into balance.
That's wonderful. Because I know that I remember I forgot if I learned this from you or someone else, but I was told that we cannot spot train a spot. Like for example, if I have a big belly, I can't spot train it. I have to reduce. I have to work on the entire body. Is that correct?
Absolutely. You cannot spot train. You cannot lose weight in one area specifically. You have to always look at the whole body. Absolutely. Yes.
And then in that case, when it comes to pain, what's the difference? So can we, if I have pain, so for example, this is true story. I have pain in my left arm where if I lift it up at a certain point, I feel the pinch, like right here, I feel the pinch. But I've had physiotherapy, I've had chiro, I've had massage, a bunch of money has been sent and spent on here, and nothing has helped yet. So when we have pain, how do you and how does your program work that actually that can rid of the pain in like as little as 2 weeks? Because I know your results are phenomenal.
Yeah, so the back pain was gone in a couple of weeks. I also had a bad shoulder. You know, in flamenco dancing, we always move the arms, and my shoulder. I had a frozen shoulder. I couldn't move my shoulder at all. The shoulder took a little bit longer. The thing with pain is people have pain somewhere, and just like spot training, they only think about, I have to get rid of that pain. So they think about the pain as the location of the pain. But pain often doesn't originate from the location of where you feel it. And it's the same concept as you can spot train. You can't just fix the pain. You have to fix the whole body as a whole. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, so when you put the body back into balance, then things start falling into place. And for example, on your shoulder example, there are ways of doing an exercise where you start moving the shoulder in a certain way. But then if, like, for example, it hurts doing it here, we're going to bend forward a little bit, move we're going to change the angle and then find the spot where it doesn't hurt. So then you start working from that place where it doesn't hurt and then build it like that. So we never really think about, oh, you got to fix the shoulder, or you got to fix the back, or you got to fix this. It's always a matter of looking at the whole thing, and then we fix everything. And that's how the one thing gets better.
Perfect. And that's was I was expecting your answer to be like that. I just needed to know. So literally, you're looking at the overall picture. It's the entire posture, this entire ergonomic
Yes.
of the body,
Yeah.
and not just we can't fix a problem either because like you said, if I have pain here, the root cause could be somewhere else on my back, for example.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I've become very sensitive to things like that. And sometimes, because I had really bad knee problems as well, doing flamenco, pounding the floor so many years, and my knees were like off. And I never have knee problems anymore. But sometimes, I tweak something, we're still humans, right? But I learned to recognize that it's not even from the knee. Like one time I felt like my hip was a little bit out of place, and so that can affect the knee, or it can come from the calf. So a lot of times the calf, when you have something, a tension or something, you put something in the calf, that can affect the knee. So the person is going to go, oh, my knee hurts, my knee hurts, my knee hurts, and they're going to go to the doctor for the knee when they just have to do something for the calf, and then the knee pain is gone.
Wow. So so in that case, how does it work when someone has an injury, like let's say whether it's an injury or whether it's just simple neck and shoulder tension that gives them headaches? Because I have that sometimes. What can we do to alleviate? Can you give us some advice and tips on how to alleviate our stress on our neck and shoulders?
Yes. So of course, I would always recommend to come on our system, do the challenge, check out our programs, because I can give you tips, but of course, when you get more in depth into the knowledge, then better. But the thing is to keep into mind is that a lot of the pains that we have come from inactivity and lack of circulation and lack of movement. Okay. So the first thing, and this is why I did the Zoom butt challenge, because to recognize that this is a pandemic. Okay. The sitting, the inactivity. As a matter of fact, there's research that was done, I think, as far back as 2012, where they did a research globally, and they found out that the lack of movement, the lack of activity, was killing millions and millions of people worldwide. And at that time, they called it a pandemic. And, it wasn't publicized in the big news that all these people are dying and it's a pandemic, but nobody's doing anything about it. So just on the sidetrack, but so getting off the chair and doing activities that are going to release the tensions, and careful with not confusing warming up and doing like circular motions rather than stretching. People say, oh, I have to move, and they get up and they start stretching right away. And that actually can produce more injuries, because when you stretch, when your muscles are cold, then it's not a good thing, right? So again, in the challenge that we're doing, the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to teach a 10 minutes warm up that people can do very easily and should do actually every day, because that would start preventing some of this tension in the neck and everything.
Perfect. And you know what? Can you please give us the link in the chat? Because I have some people in Zoom right now who will probably appreciate that. And also I'll get that and I'll put it in our Facebook group so that people can sign up for your challenge. I actually don't have the link on hand, and I don't have it. Can you please just grab your link and then put it on here for us, please? And while you do that, I would like to open up for Q&A from our audience here, just in case you have questions. Because I know with pain, it's best for you to actually join the challenge, because with the challenge, you can ask Batista questions directly in her own Facebook group. It's very active. And I will be part of it as well, because I know that this is my first time that I get to experience Batista's work. I've heard a lot of great things about her program, about her husband's, and they're both like established international best-selling authors and all that. But more importantly, it's the result that they get for their customers, for their clients. And Batista, in terms of when it comes to, I would love to hear some of the biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to trying to lose weight.
They spend hours on the treadmill.
Okay. Spending hours on the treadmill. Okay, that is number one. Anything else? By the way,
Yeah.
I do hear that when it comes to trying to lose weight, 80% is what you eat and 20% is how you move. Is that correct? Or can you give me some enlightenment about that?
Well, you know what they say. That's what they say. Okay.
Okay.
And food has a lot to do with it, because if you eat a bunch of junk food all day long and you pile up the calories, then of course you're not going to lose weight. As a matter of fact, one of the first principles of losing weight is having a caloric deficit. So you do have to burn more calories than you eat. Okay, so you can't kind of get away with that. So it is true that food is very important. But I will tell you that we have a different philosophy. Do you want to hear about it?
Absolutely. Please do. Please share.
Okay. So people don't overeat because they are really okay. You know what I mean? There's always a cause for overeating, binge eating, the same cause as any type of addiction that we have or behavior that we can't control. We're doing it because there is an emotional instability, there is something that's bothering us inside, or we are covering up an issue, or something is happening and we need to kind of do something, right? So this is, to us, we compare, and the nervous system of the body is responsible for the healing. Actually, the nervous system is responsible for your thoughts, your movements, your actions, everything. It's the nervous system that dictates what we do. So we compare the nervous system to the electrical panel in your house. If your electrical panel is outdated and you plug in too many appliances, you're going to blow a fuse.
Great analogy.
And it's the same for the body. If your nervous system is on overload, stress, worries, pandemics, world situation, responsibilities, kids, whatever, you know what I mean? We all, right? It's a stressful time, especially now. And now you're going, oh, I have to lose weight. I have to get in shape. I have to do this. I have to do that. And now you're gonna, I can't eat this. I can't eat this. And now you're on the treadmill for 2 hours, or you're gonna do, the only thing you're doing is you're adding more appliances on an outdated electrical panel. It's not sustainable. It's like you're going to blow a fuse, right? So what we teach people is to back off this wheel and to really get back into their body, into the center of their universe, because the body is the center of your universe, and to ground yourself. So we don't do jumping jacks, we don't do running up and down stairs, we don't do any of that. Everything we do is very grounding, where the body feels safe. So you can breathe and be okay, right? But then, because we work on strength increase, and we can increase your strength rapidly, very rapidly, then what you do, you don't only increase your physical strength, but you also strengthen the nervous system. So I compare it to like rewiring your house with a new electrical panel. Now, when you have a new electrical panel, now you can plug in more appliances, you can have more light, you can have more things, because your nervous system is stronger, right? So when somebody comes to us because they want to lose weight or whatever it is, we always come come from the perspective of first get back into your body, increase your strength, quiet the mind. People actually call our programs more like a active meditation. It becomes very grounding and very centering. And then it's like a domino effect, but in the positive direction. Now the person wants to eat better, they want to do things that are healthier. And so now slowly they're going to modify their behavior because they're stronger. And in our world, strength, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual strength is all connected, it's all related. When the person is weaker, it affects everything in their lives. When they become stronger or more grounded, it also affects everything in their life. So this is the first step for us.
Perfect. It's funny. Okay, so share more about the your thoughts on the food and exercises ratio. So in that case, what do you suggest for someone to lose weight? What should they be? What should they focus on, food wise and also exercise wise?
I would say I would concentrate and focus on the food and do too much restrictions. I would say just work on feeling better in your body, get stronger, and start drinking more water and start taking walks and breathing. So I would not focus on the food directly, especially if the food is the issue. You know, whatever you focus on becomes the center of what you think about all the time. And if a person already has an issue with overeating and then you're going to tell them, oh, you can only eat so many calories and you know, forget it, it's a headache. I would focus more on taking positive actions that are easy to do and that feel good, and then recommend, for example, drink more water, because when that's one of the major, a lot of people don't drink enough water, and water is extremely important for weight loss because water controls all the functions of the body, the liver, the kidneys, everything. And if your internal organs are working more efficiently, then you can digest the food better, and then it's going to be easier to eliminate toxins and lose weight, right? And then the second thing I would do is, if your thing is a lot of fried food and you have fried food morning, lunch, and dinner, then just eliminate morning. You know, take baby steps. Don't eliminate everything all at once. Because after 2 weeks, you're going to go, I want it. And then you're going to go and you're going to have twice as much. Yeah.
What about sugar products?
That's deadly. Yeah. It's a huge addiction, a huge problem. No question about that. And the more you eat it, the more you want it, and the more, that's a big one. They say it's as addictive as cocaine, actually. Big one.
Yeah, but
hard to let go of.
So hard, so hard. I was able to become vegetarian for 5 years and get and not eat meat, but I still can't not eat sugar. Any advice on how to do that, or how should we approach it?
Yeah, there's no miracle. I will not lie. There's no miracle because it is an addiction. It's very addictive. And if you eat a lot of it, then it does damage to the body. It's very destructive. And, you know, you might have to go cold turkey, but there are, there are certain supplements that can help with the craving of the sugar craving, such as Udia is an herb that will help to manage the sugar cravings. And the thing though that I can say is, the healthier you eat, the healthier you want to eat, and the less you crave the things that are not that good for you. So we always start to look at the positive, strengthen the strong part, and don't focus on the weakness. So the strong part becomes stronger, and then the weakness kind of, you know. But yeah, again, the same advice. strengthen the nervous system, strengthen your body, feel better, drink more water, move, breathe some fresh air, and try to have balanced meals every time you eat, which includes carbs. I don't believe in keto and paleo and none of that. I believe old-fashioned way: eat balanced meal, carbs, healthy fats, lean protein at each meal, so that your body is satisfied, and then there will be less cravings. And then Hoodia is a good herbs for sugar cravings.
Yeah, thank you for that. So now I want to ask you a question that probably affects a lot of my tribe and myself personally. Is as I hit 45, I'm starting to feel some knee pain that I never felt before. I'm like, what is this thing right here, right now? What is this sensation? It's no fun. Do you have any advice on how, as women age, what kind of supplements, or if anything, we need to do to help us age more gracefully and less pain?
You need to do strength training, my friend. And if you do it on the Dr. Fitness USA, then you are in the winning game, because that's what happens, and especially for women 40 and up, because that is when the hormones change. So now you are perimenopausal, premenopausal, like you are approaching menopause, the hormones change, and a lot of things start happening, including aches and pains, including gain weight, including mood swings, including not being able to handle stress as much. A lot of things happen at that age. And this is the time where women need to do what I'm talking about: the strength training, the nervous system. Because when you start now at 40, then it's like putting money in the bank. I know you are into money mastery. And so I'm going to give you another analogy, okay,
Perfect.
that you might relate to. Strengthening the body in the way I'm talking about literally is the same. It's comparable to putting money in the bank, saving your money, or having savings with compounded interests.
I
You know
love
what I
that.
mean? Right? So the earlier you start, even if you started at your 30s, then imagine with compound interest what you can have by 40, 50, 60. You can really be in the game, right?
Right.
And it's the same for what I'm talking about. So the sooner you start, the sooner you're going to have the benefits of what I'm talking about. So that when you hit 50, or when menopause hits, 50, 55, depends, right? Some people at different age, then you're going to avoid a lot of those issues, because it can be hard. For me, as I was already a few years in the game. Oh my God, thank God that I found this system and Stephen. It's life-changing, life-transforming. There is no miracle, and you can't take a supplement. Yes, you can take supplements, and they will help. Okay, they will help, but it's like a band-aid. You have to rebuild your strength. This is the most overlooked thing of aging gracefully and anti-aging, is that strength building component of it. Women, the younger generation, they're hip to it. They're training, they're in the gyms, they're pumping iron, they're taking weight. The new generation, it's like having a new phone. They have the new phone, they understand the value of it, and they're doing it. But our generation, especially mine, in the 60s, we grew up with Jane Fonda and the aerobics and things like that, and even the Zumba, whatever. A lot of still using corded phone. They haven't upgraded. There lot of lack of education. Yeah.
Very interesting that you said that. So because like our generation, and you're just few years ahead of me. I'm a lot of years, but you know what? My goal is if I could look and feel as good as you, now I'll be a success right there.
Well, I'm going to invite you for a consultation then because you need me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm all in because I know that I want you to help me get rid of this pain because I've had it for a few months already. Yeah.
And
so
it doesn't get better until you do something about it. I can guarantee you.
right. So
Yes.
so in terms of this kind of strength training, is it like a daily routine? Actually, you know what? Let's go back to my first question when we first started this interview. Like, can you give us what are your daily routines?
Yeah. So because our programs are very specific, I use that word again, very potent, very powerful. You don't need to do every day. Okay. And actually, the body needs rest. So we typically recommend that a person would train 3 times per week. That's it. 3 times per week. And each program can take anywhere between, I say 45 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour. That's it, 3 times a week. And then the rest of the time, go take a walk, do something refreshing, get some air, or do a little aerobics or whatever, But yeah, 3 times a week is sufficient to get the results I'm talking about.
Wow.
Yeah. Because when you know what you're doing, it's kind of everything, right? You work on the system, then you're getting results faster with less pain, less wasted time. So it pays to do it right.
So then 3 times a week, half an hour to an hour of those three. And then in between those days, do you do anything else or nothing?
Yeah, I like to walk.
Okay.
And I recommend walking, and getting some air. I think this is really good for the body, for the soul, for everything, to get that fresh air, and especially when you're inside all the time. And I like stretching. I always stretch after the workout, always stretch after. But yeah, that's it. You don't need to do a lot. What do you do?
I don't do much. That's the problem. But you know what? I do have some dancing that I do once or twice a week. But then I do know that that's not strength training. And you know what? I don't have a formal strength training program. And I do attend a class here and there with Kathy online for her strengthening and her aerobics work. But I don't have a routine that I can just wake up and do every day. And that's what I'm lacking. I don't have any habits that is built in where, like you said, like if I were to be conscious of how I sit, I can do that for like 3 minutes and then I will be slouching again because it goes back to, like you said, the normal, right? So I don't have any of those healthy routines or habits built in yet. And I know that your challenge is going to help us do that, right?
Yeah, so the challenge is going to give you tips and things specifically. I called it the Zoom butt challenge because everybody is sitting on Zoom now. Okay, so and I always get a giggle when I say the Zoom butt challenge. Oh, I have Zoom butt, but but it's not necessarily just focused on the butt. It's really it's really focused on just being able to take simple tools, 5-10 minutes a day, to get up and go do something that is going to start reversing that what we're talking about. The inertia, the pain, the tension, and so I did it specifically so it wasn't going to be overwhelming that now you have to take an hour every day or, very simple thing, but at the end of the 5 days, you will have enough tools that you can really do something to help yourself on daily basis. Even if you want to do everything that you've learned in the 5 days or one thing, there is enough things to take from. So we just started the challenge today, actually. So if anybody is listening and they wanted to start the one that we're doing right now, there is still time, because even though it's the end of the day, you could still get the activities from today and do them and then get on the ball tomorrow. So you can still do that, right?
I'm going to sign up right now after we finish our interview, but I already dropped it in our Facebook group and in our Zoom link. So as far as the Zumba challenge is concerned, basically, should I set up like an alarm clock where every hour there's a reminder for me to actually walk, get up and do something, go grab a drink and move and make some moves? Then is that what I should do?
No, because you don't need to do this. I encourage that once or twice a day you get up and you do something. And because it's a challenge and you're not alone, and every day you have a new activity, and then you're going to post in the group, oh, I did that, that was great, then you're going to remember to do it. You know what I mean? And so what happens is every morning at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I send an email with an activity, okay, to do for today,
okay,
for the day, and why you need to do it and what it does. Okay, so there's a little bit of information on how to do it. So there's a video instruction and certain exercises. I give you 3 different ways of doing it for different fitness levels. So the person that's a complete beginner, they will start here. The person that's a little more fit, they can do it that way. Okay, so there's a little bit of differentiation. But when you join the challenge, I also give you access to our app. We have an app. So in the app, you also have a schedule where you go to the app and you say, oh, today I do this. And then you have the instruction video in the app. And you also have, like, as we build each day, it's like a mini program that you're getting. So it's very convenient. It's in the app. And then we go to the Facebook group. And people are already sharing. Like one lady today said, oh, I did this activity this morning. It was so great. It relieves shoulder pain and tension in the neck. I think so. and she said, I loved it so much, I'm going to do it again later.
Okay, so now, quick question. I went tobogganing with my kids yesterday, like for a few hours, and I went snowshoeing as well. And today my arms are tired because I was doing the poles. And also running up and down the hill. So for physical pain that is temporary due to lactic acid buildup like that, what's the best way for me to get over this pain?
Okay, so drink a lot of water. Okay, drink a lot of water, and when you've joined the challenge, you're going to do the warm up. That is exactly perfect for what you're talking about. So just you need to move in a very gentle way. Okay, you need to keep the moving. When you stop moving and you get sedentary and you stop moving, it's like it hits you, it settles in, and then it stays for days. Okay, yeah. But keep moving and keep drinking a lot of water. Take a hot bath. You know, do the nice things. Get sleep, good sleep, and all these things will help. But your challenge is going to actually make a big difference for you.
Perfect. And one last question in terms of, you mentioned earlier, there's 3 levels of fitness. Now, I may look fit because I don't have a lot of excess weight, but I'm a wimp. As in, if you give me any kind of weight, I'm a wimp. So how do we know which level we're at? Like, is there a test that you would put us through?
You know, trust me, you'll know. You see the exercise. You see the exercise and the way I explain it, or how you start and you try it. And as soon as you give it one try, you'll go, oh, that one is for me.
Okay, got
immediately.
Got it. Well,
and I keep it simple. You know, this is it's a 5-day simple challenge. It's just to get people, you know, wake up, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what, Batista, I really love how you approach this with the whole ergonomic and the whole, like you said, the electric board, and not just we have to change the electric board, the entire system. So I can't wait. I'll be joining the challenge right after this, and I'll be joining your program as you started in January here. But here's one last thing that I want to ask you. 2020 has been a crazy year for a lot of us, for all of us actually. Even if your business has grown a lot, and you've done really well. And actually, there are two types of group this year. There's the first group that, and most of the people are in the first group, where their entire life changed for the worst, as in their career was impacted, their income source was impacted, and their health, their worries, their emotional issues, relationship challenges, totally took a negative toll on them. And then there's the other group that, because of COVID and the whole online world, there's a whole bunch of people are actually growing very fast in their business, and I'm one of them. And it still took a big toll on us because we have to work extra hard, not because we have to, but because we want to, because there's so much opportunities coming. So can you give us your biggest lesson for this year? How COVID has taught you any lessons at all? And I would love to just finish this interview with your biggest lesson for this year.
Yes, that's interesting what you said. And personally, on our end, we were impacted. Like we are a mixture of both groups, because okay, let me back up. 4 years ago, we put our programs online. Okay, when I met Stephen 11 years ago, it was all done one-on-one in person. People were coming to LA to work in the gym with him, and it was all physical one-on-one in the gym. My vision was to expand and offer this program to as many people as possible, and that's what I spend my time, my energy, everything. And 4 years ago, we were able to actually put the system online. Thank God for that, because we were ahead of this online curve. We already have the app. We already, we already have all that. So right. We were actually not in a bad spot when all this happened. Having said that, all our programs were still requiring the person to belong to a gym. Mm. So for us, we did have a huge drop, because now we had done all our research for the online methods based on gym equipment, and now we didn't have any track record on home programs. And when you deliver something online, you have to know that it works, right? So we had that period of time where we were like, well, now we have to develop home programs, and we have to test it, and we have to have social proof and all the things that you need to be able to survive online. And so that was a critical time for us in the beginning. But I don't know if you have noticed this from our conversation. I am a person that always looks at a problem more as an opportunity. I've always been like this in my whole life. I don't ever look at a problem as something. Yeah, I look at problems as open doors. So right away, I knew that there was going to be some good things coming out of that. And home programs is something that a lot of people had asked us in the past, and we didn't offer them. And we would have never offered them if it had been for this. Because Stephen, my husband, doesn't believe in home programs. He believes in the gym. And he was never going to do anything like that, even though people wanted it. Right. You know? And so for me, it's like, okay, now we have home programs. And now we are expanding to corporate wellness. And that was another thing that we wouldn't have been able to offer. And now we can. And I see it. So financially, we are recovering, and we are okay. We're doing the thing. We have grown tremendously. We have connected with so many amazing people. So we're growing fast. And now with the transition going to 2021 with our corporate wellness program, I see that as a huge a huge growth for us in 2021 because we have the things that we put into motion this year based on all the problems. And, I did some research. The corporate wellness program is predicted to grow tremendously in the next 5 years. And there's a lot of issues with the remote workers, working from home, and the things that we have to offer now. I have a vision that it will do very, very well in 2021. So I think in retrospect, this has been an amazing year, challenging, and I feel grateful and lucky and blessed that I was able to spend that year with Stephen. I feel for those who are alone, who don't have family, like elderly who are in homes, they can't get visitation. That's hard, but I feel that we've been blessed to be able to spend that time together. And to be honest with you, we don't really go that many places anyway. So we enjoy each other's company, and we are passionate about what we do, creating these programs and helping people. And so we're doing our thing. And yeah.
And you know what, Batista, your work is actually much more needed now, more than ever, because people need this kind of support as we go into the age where a lot of us will be having to work from home and on the computers a lot more. And so all of this trainings, like I find health coaches, relationship coaches, like next year, boy, do we need them.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely. Well,
thank you so much, Batista, for your time and for your expertise. I highly recommend you to join the challenge. It is free, and you gotta. By the way, once you go on that, you're gonna be able to download an ebook, great content. I got that already, and I know that Batista and Stephen here is gonna be able to support you if you wanted to have a more in-depth discussion. And I'll be reaching out to you, Batista, to speak with you about my shoulder ache here.
Beautiful. I'm going to send you I'm going to send you a link to get a consultation. For that matter, anybody on the call that's listening, if you want to have a complimentary consultation as a gift for being a beautiful follower of this beautiful woman here, I'm going to offer all of you a complimentary consultation if you want to discuss special issues. So I'll give you a link on that too.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you so much, Batista. And for all of you who are here live, I didn't see any questions because I wanted to give you a chance to ask Batista questions live here, but I didn't see any of your questions at all. So I assumed that, you know what, I'm sure that once you join the challenge, you'll be able to ask Batista a lot more questions in that group as well. And so Christmas is over, Boxing Day is almost over, and I sincerely hope that we have a few more days left during this year to finish 2020 strong, whether physically, emotionally, or financially. But the point is this: nothing will change until you decide to. And sometimes, right now, it's really tough. Where it's much easier to just tolerate and put up with this mediocre life that I know that at the mediocre level that I was playing at. And so that's the reason why I bring in all these experts for you to actually tap into their greatness. And you know what? Here's the thing. We have our greatness, the light side, the good sides, and we also have our bad side where we're falling off the wagon on certain other areas of our life. So it's not like we're good at everything. Our life is not perfect. But the one thing we know for sure is we're going to share with you what works for us and where we're good at. So then that way you can just take that piece and run with it and apply it to your own life. And then on the other areas where we need support, we go get it for ourselves too, right? So good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us live here. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So tomorrow is my final day on health. And then we're going to move into relationships. I have some amazing experts on relationships as well to help us go through these tough times. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Batista.
Thank you.